hands today by playing a video from Katara. Let's go, Katara. Okay, thank you, Katara, for the introduction video of Bukit Vista. So let's move to our weekly inspirational speaker, that is Kak Amanda. So right now, we are welcoming our weekly inspirational speaker, Kak Amanda. Hi, Kak Amanda, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you, Kamanda, for being here. So, guys, Kamanda is currently the marketing communication manager at Anantara Seminyak Kali. So, he's now working on his hospitality, just same like us. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yes, looking at Amanda inspiring journey here. So she basically started her career from 2012 at Sheraton Surabaya Hotel and Towers. So basically, in this 5 years experience of Amanda, she was not the marketing communication managers at the first time, but she kept climbing up the stairs. So on 2017, she was the marketing communications manager at Sheraton Surabaya Hotel and Towers. And moving forward, at 2016 until 2017, she was the marketing communications manager complex at 4 Points by Sheraton. So basically, it's the same Sheraton group, yeah, Kak Amanda.
Yeah.
And then on 2017, she was the marketing communication manager, like the same position, but different company as well at Fasa Hotel Surabaya. And the other, I believe it's 5 years later, like from 2017 until 2022, she was the corporate communications and PR manager at Archipelago International Hotels, Resort and Residence. And then she was moved to Antaras Minyak Bali Resort from 2022 until right now as the marketing communications manager. So basically, she has a long-term journey in hospitality service and amazing experience, like from Java, Surabaya until here in Bandung together with us. Okay, next, Katana. Okay, taking a look at Kak Amanda's journey. So basically, we are wondering, Kak, what is your principle at work and what made you commit to continue your journey under the same position from, let's say, 2016 or 17, you decided your career path to marketing communication manager like until right now, Kak.
Okay. So thank you for the time. Actually, when I first joining at the hospitality industry, I work as what we call now the digital marketing. And then I was lucky to be given by my boss at that time to move to the marketing communications. And when I start doing working at the marketing communications, I found my passion to work in that position, because in the marketing communication we work on the different tasks. We work on the different cases. So every day we will be facing a different challenge. We will be facing a different person, and also we will be working uh, following what is currently trending and what is the development of the technology. So I think it's a position that will make you not feel bored, and also you can find many interesting things inside.
Okay, so basically you work based on your passion and also like the challenge make you feel alive so that you will be passionate to work ya Kak Tara. Kak
Yes.
Amanda, sorry. Oh my God. Very inspiring, Kak. Honestly, we have the same background. If I'm not mistaken, you're also a graduate from international relation, right?
Yes, correct. Also, you
Okay.
also studied international relations.
Yeah, Kak, that's right. We have
Okay.
the same background here. Yeah. Maybe from the audience here, do you have any question, like following up question about Kak Amanda journey and experience, maybe?
Yeah, actually, if I can add, as Maisi told me that my background is I study international relations, and it's actually really different from what I'm facing in the hospitality industry. But in some cases, we can also adapt and also use our skills that we are having in the university. So, for example, in the international relations, we are study how to negotiate with people. We are study how to persuade people in a diplomatic ways. That we can also apply it in the hospitality industry as well, because in the hospitality industry, not only we are working with a lot of people, a lot of background, and also a lot of positions, but we also communicate in the with the external person. So for example, I need to talk with the government people or the partner from the lifestyle, from the social, from the like the environment. So we also need to learn and adapt how to communicate with them.
Okay. What can I say from your insight right now? So basically, in order to adapt, so we need to understand what skill do we have, and then make it as solution of our work. Is that correct, Kak
Yes,
Amanda?
correct.
Okay. So I think here Mr. Jing raised his hand. So do you have any
Hi.
questions, Mr. Jing?
Sure, Amanda, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too as well.
Fantastic. All right. So Amanda actually was at our last BVE talk where we spoke about artificial intelligence with a group of other experts. So it's a pleasure to have Amanda here at our all hands today. Amanda, I have a question for you. This might be something that a lot of our young employees are thinking about. So, based on your career and working many years in marketing at different hotels, what would you say is something that you feel is a common misunderstanding younger people have about their work that eventually, let's say, when they attain more senior positions and they reach levels in the organization, that becomes more clear. So, what's sort of the evolution of thinking along essentially the process of the career pathway did you experience as somebody working in marketing with so many years of experience?
Okay, thank you for the question. So actually, when I was start working on the hospitality industry, I also facing a difficulties like, for example, my boss is giving me a lot of tasks at the same time, and I need to work on my own pace, but within the deadline. So it's kind of hard for me prioritize the task at that time. But as the time goes by, so I learn how to handle the situation, how to manage my time, and also create a priority. And I think it's not something that we can also learn in the short time, but learning by doing. By the time you are getting older, you are getting wiser, and then you can also know uh, in what level you can manage, and also in what level you, if you want to reject that task, then you need to reject it, but in the polite way as well.
That's, I think, a most excellent answer, Ms. Amanda, because I remember feeling completely overwhelmed in my career in the very beginning from lack of time management and lack of understanding how to prioritize, which I think is difficult. I think it's actually one of the most challenging things to do. I think when you start out young in your career, you believe that you have infinite amounts of time to get things done, right? Kind of always optimistic, always have more time. And we probably also have infinite or misplaced understanding of our own capabilities. But I think that's really, really important. And something that I've seen is a transition where managing others' expectations of yourself becomes part of a very important part of the job. So thank you, Amanda,
Thank you.
for that reaffirmation.
Okay, thank you, Kamanda. Thank you, Mr. Jing, for the discussion. And I think we can move to the next question, Kak Tara. Okay, Kamanda. So, based on your 10 years experience, especially as a marketing communication manager in hospitality industry, how do you ensure consistent branding and messaging across different marketing channels, Kak?
Okay, so in my 10 years experience, I was so lucky to work in the international chain hotels. So within the international chains, we can also have the standards. So we know what is the difference between Sheraton and also Four Points, how to use the tone of voice to the guests in the Sheraton, how to use the tone of voice in the Four Points, what color that we need to use in the archipelago. For example, in archipelago, they also have 10 brands. So what color that will be make a people know that this is Aston, this is Neo, this is Faith Hotels, and also the type of the advertising that we are using. So it needs to be also matched with the target market. So for example, in the Aston hotels, the target market is mostly the middle to high. So the people who are in the business trip or family vacations, while for the Faith hotels, mostly for a friends, the group of friends, or their solo traveling. So we also need to know what type of the target market that we want to reach and how to reach them. So for example, if we are creating like a formal advertising for a group of people, they will not get interested. But if we are creating the formal advertising for people who are looking for a business trip, that will be a perfect match. So to ensure the consistency branding and also messaging, we need to learn the basic first, how to reach the market, how to create the something that can attract them, and also what kind of marketing channel that they are using. So if the youngsters, they may using the Instagram, but for the older people, they may still using the traditional ways like a newspaper, like the magazine, something like that.
Wow, Kamanda, super insightful. And I noticed that you usually use different tone of voice here if you
Yes.
approach different clients. Oh my God. Yeah, It will be amazing insight for me since I used to approach several times, like for many different properties and also partners as well. And yeah, I noticed that we need to represent our brand ourselves.
Mm.
It's as simple as we um, use the tone color of our brand as well. Yeah. And this is my participation for PR team and also awareness team that we need to understand our targeted audience first. So later on, we will easily know how to reach them, how to attract them, and also which specific marketing channel that we can use to reach them as well. Any other question maybe from PR side or also awareness side regarding this topic, guys? Okay, so I think there's no follow-up question, and we run out of time. Kak Amanda, well, thank you very much for sharing your insight and also attending our all hands meeting in Bukit Vista today. So feel free to continue here since we will have to continue this meeting. But if you have another event to be attended, yeah, we are very pleased to you to continue your activities, Kamanda.
Thank you so much for the time, Bukit Vista team. So I hope that it can also give very insightful ideas for you to understand how the marketing communication works.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
Amanda, for coming. Okay.
Right.
Mahesi, so please, what's next?
Okay, so it was the end of our weekly inspirational speaker session, and let's continue to our all hands meeting. So I will give the floor to Kak Clara.
Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. Today I will be your moderator for All Hands, and let's continue to our vision and mission statement. Seems like no one's filling out the table, so we will move on to our weekly mission inspiration. Okay, the first one,
Oh,
Wismo.
sorry, Tara, the
Yeah.
vision and mission statement should be presented by Mr. Jing, so that's why you
Oh,
do not
okay.
see on the presentation attached there. So,
Okay.
vision and
I'm
mission
sorry.
statement.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Give the
let's
floor to the Mr. Jing, please.
Okay, let's go back to the vision and mission statement. The floor is yours, Mr. Jing.
Actually, thank you, Tara. You spotted a mistake. I usually should have put that there, so I didn't. So for Con, I should probably put my vision and mission statement there. All right. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone feeling? Good? Terrible?
Great.
Inspired?
I can't answer that, but let's go.
All right, fantastic. It was a pleasure to have Amanda back. She's one of our friends from industry. Amanda spoke really intelligently last time at the BBE talk, I think was it 22, 21? I forgot.
21, sir.
Yeah, 21, about the effects of artificial intelligence on the industry. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Let's begin here. Last week I wasn't here, but thank you to Irene and also Kyla for covering a bit of my normal presentation. I've decided to delegate the Airbnb insights and also the semester goals to Kyla and Irene. Right. The first thing I want to talk about is this place where we work. Bukit Vista is not a place for everyone. And I think it's important to understand this from a deep level, okay? Being a hospitality company, we work when other people are playing. That's essentially the work of hospitality. A lot of people fantasize about starting restaurants or hotels, but a good mentor of mine told me, Jing, when you decide to join the hospitality industry, you decide to flip over your schedule. You will be working when other people are having fun, and you'll be probably having fun when other people are working. And it's so true. If you go to a restaurant, or if you want to start a restaurant, that means you will never have dinner with your family again because you're going to be having dinner with your guests. If you decide to start a hotel, it probably means that you'll be taking less holiday trips because essentially your hotel will need to serve guests on their holiday. Okay, so that's kind of like a basic premise why working at Bukit Vista is not for everyone. We also constantly change our tools and workflows, and some of these changes are progressive, some of these changes are experimental, but change is inherent in the nature of this company. So it is difficult, I understand, even as, let's say, somebody who's accustomed to change for almost 20 years of my career, change can be challenging. But as a company that's actually existed for 12, 15 years right now, I think we've noticed that change is inevitable. We are not the same company that we started with. We don't serve the same type of guests, and we're in a completely different industry. And we've had volcanoes and COVID and all these other things. So change is something that instead of being afraid of, we need to embrace. We always seem to be short on people. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I thought about it deeply, and it's probably because we're growing really quickly. So each year we grow a little bit bigger, and essentially because we grow and we have an expanding marketplace, it seems like we're always trying to catch up to find enough people to serve this expanding marketplace, right? And I will acknowledge that the pay at Bukit Vista is not really great at the beginning. It can be very low, or now I think even interns are paid actually. So that part is back from zero. But I would say it takes a while to earn decent money here at Bukit Vista, and this is why it's not for everyone. But let's go into the main part, which is why work here? Why should we come to work here every day? Why do we not choose other options? I think the main reason why anybody should work here is back to this particular idea. It's back to the mission. If you're working here, then ask yourself this question. Does inspiring delight seem purposeful to you? Does making a guest feel happy seem purposeful to you? Does making a partner feel happy seem purposeful to you? Does making your fellow colleagues feel happy seem purposeful to you? If this does seem purposeful, then you are doing things that are aligned to the mission. Now then the question is, how do you do it? Do you do it through just kind of brute force all the time, or do you do it through innovation that improves hospitality? If you enjoy the process of innovation, if you enjoy the process of being the first person to use ChatGPT to answer a bad review, if you enjoy the process of using Midjourney to create new designs, to see things that have never been visualized before, if you enjoy working with new tools and being able to see information through data visualization, then this is probably a place that is suitable. Hospitality innovation doesn't mean just the technology, I think. It can mean different things like structuring people, creating new workflows, or just inventing a different way to interview people. These are all different ways where we can innovate in hospitality. Ultimately, if you've been able to positively transform a guest, a partner, or a colleague, an employee, then you have fulfilled your mission here, okay? If this process of doing this particular work inspires you, then Bukit Vista is the right place for you. And I think this is a unique mission that is very, very different from any other place to work in the world. Okay, so given that, I'd like to talk a little bit about what mission alignment means and what mission alignment sometimes does not mean, okay? So not all work here is going to be enjoyable or fun. I think we all know that, especially if you work in hospitality. We work in comfortable offices for the most part, remotely. We can do this thing with our computers, but most people who work in hospitality, what do they actually do? Clean toilets, change sheets, sweep up trash, okay? That is not inherently enjoyable work. And in fact, that's where a lot of people who work in hospitality, the majority of people who work in hospitality do those three simple things, okay? But what's the point of this? What brings purpose to that? Well, why do we clean sheets, sweep up trash, and take away, clean toilets, do all this? It has an effect on people, right? If a guest shows up and these things are not done, then that degrades somebody's holidays experience, all right? So all work we do in the end is actually to inspire delight, is to positively transform people, right? And our work serves our users, not just ourselves, right? Along with ourselves as well. As long as I think we understand that, then we can take pleasure and meaning in the things that we do every day. I'm not just talking about this. There's a really good example that I want to bring up today. So simplifying the check-in instructions, okay? Here's the before, here's the after. These are things that probably none of us really thought about on a day-to-day basis, okay? What's the difference? It's easier to read, it's more simple, and it allows a guest to check in on their own. Is it a lot of work? It is a lot of work. That's the number of times that we have to go and fix the check-in instructions to make it simple. Is it boring? You can ask Gani and his team if they find this boring work, right? But does it inspire delight? I think it's a good question. I think it inspires delight. I think it inspires delight because this type of work often reduces the amount of complaints and urgent phone calls that the hosting team has to actually field. It reduces the amount of panic and oh shit moments that the hosting team needs to fill, right? It removes the possibility of late night phone calls from very, very upset people screaming into the phone at somebody here in the company over this. It improves also the guest experience when they can feel fully confident that they understand how to achieve a successful check-in on their own. And without this work, partners also get troubled all the time for particular things that seem very simple, right? Why do I have to be called to actually give check-in instructions to another lost guest? Why do I have to be called to give check-in instruction to another lost driver? Okay. All right. So that's a simple point that I want to illustrate, that the work that inspires delight sometimes is not fun or enjoyable, but if we commit to a common mission, if we commit to common goals, that yes, we're here to serve, we're here to actually make the user journey better, whether it's we work in front-end engineering or back-end engineering, user experience, data science, whether we work on the front lines, talking to guests every day, whether we work in PR to answer upset, guest reviews, whether we work in leadership, that this is the common purpose. And this is what the work of Bukit Vista is. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for my insight of the week, leading with vision and mission. Okay, let me pass it over to, let's pass it back over to Tara.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing, for the weekly vision and mission. Let me continue with the weekly mission inspiration.
Um, Tara, sorry. Or is
Yeah.
there any Airbnb Inside dashboard will be presented on this all hands? Probably to Kyla or Irene.
Yes, I will do the
Oh,
Airbnb Inside dashboard.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, let me take over for the presentation today. And here's our Airbnb Inside dashboard. First one is communication. Communication last week, 79.2%. And for this week, we have reached the same, 79.2%. And for this week case in communication, we have some team improvement in posting flow. Internship and trial members are still catching up with the flow in guest squad operational, and team are also having hard time trying to use AI assistant that hasn't fully developed. That also affects in the response time in missed chat in Booking.com and Airbnb. Also, there's a trial program that needs to be delegated clearly to have all the access for the Airbnb, Booking.com, also other tools that we use. Maybe Kak Marcel have something to say about the communication this week or this week's case. Is Kak Marcel presenting?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the internship and trials, I think it might be correct, but we have updated. Ardan as personally has updated the issues of it on the OSI DAFs, I believe.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so we believe there will be an improvement towards this kind of case.
Yes,
That's
I
from
believe
me.
Team Guess Squad has aware of this, and Kak Ardana has really done a good work to cover all the missed chats and the response time in Airbnb, especially. And next we have Bilalahi. Property partners still tend to ask about the phone number of the guests, so they can actually ask the guests directly about the check-in time and the check-in progress. And I think this can be improved in our team to have a number of the guests mentioned in the PVGo as well. Next, we have check-in check-in last week, we are in 81.2%, and for this week we have 80.0%. There's a downgrade to this, and then the next is location that has relativeness with the check-in. Also, it's 73.4%, and for this week we have 72.8%. We have several cases in here. There's some guest complaints saying the location is not accurate, but we have tried to fact check with the direction that we have put on Airbnb listing, and we might need to check again whether it's still valid or not. And Cloud Hills, also the pinpoint of Cloud Hills disappeared this week, and I'm sure that awareness team already told about that and work on it. And then there's Kencana Homestay, where we set a new key box for self check-ins, but for now we need to tell the guests manually about the code of the key box. And I think maybe awareness team, Kak Gani, have something to say about the location and the check-in in this particular case, or maybe another case.
Yeah, so for the Google Map pin location itself, it is out of our control because suddenly it's
disappeared.
disappeared. So
Yeah.
what was the cause? I still doesn't have the answer, but for the recovery part, we will create a new pin as soon as possible. Yep, that's it, Irene.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Gani. Maybe from PM team, Kak Tendi or Kak Wismo have a comment about the check-in, that failed check-in, or the key box that has been installed, or which property has installed the self check-in ways to their property. Kak Wismo or Kak Tendi?
For the Kencana Homestay, we must to get the new treatment because we have the potential risk. The hosting team forget to giving the passcode. Yeah, it's example for the last issue on Kencana Homestay, right? So maybe Gani as awareness team can giving the solution too for the Kencana Homestay for the check-in, self check-in for the future.
Okay, thank you, Kak Wismo. We are trying to make the self check-in progress to be more automated instead of manually having to tell each guest that has been assigned to a specific room by giving the automated chats about the pin itself. Am I right, Kak Wismo? Yes,
Yes,
I
that's
think.
correct.
Yes. Okay, thank you. PDT will work on this to make smoother check-in progress. And next, we have accuracy here. Last week, we have 76.0%, and for this week, we have 75.8%. And there's a little decrease in the accuracy. And for the case, we have the listings about the construction noise and about the allocation for the guest that is not assigned in the same room as BVGO, for the partner move around guests based on the availability of their room instead of the rooms that have been assigned in BVGO. And we also have we have two partners still doing so, and we need to enforce the partner to actually adopt BVGO by assigning guests based on their rooms. And maybe Kak Wismo would like to say something about this case.
Yeah. It will make it clear for communication with the partner, especially like for Villa Rindra and Villa Lala. I will make it clear and ensure the staff and the owner of Villa Rindra not to moving the
the room for the
Okay.
guests. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
guys. I'm sure case manager has been aware of these cases that's been put on SPI, and we are trying to work on it one by one to clear it up from the root causes. And next we have cleanliness. For last week we have 68.4% for cleanliness, and for this week we have 68.3%. There's a slight difference here. And for the cases, we have this specific case where the staff is not attending the property and haven't done the cleaning in Villa Bahagia. I think we need to dig deeper to it, whether it's what kind of problem that they're having, because at 5:30 p.m. the room is still not ready yet. And then we also have Wooden Puri case where the communication between partner and Bukit Vista has miscommunication there, and it causing a guest to cancel a booking. And I think there's on us our responsibility to actually make sure whether the room is ready for people checking in and people checking out stuff. And next, we have value. For value last week, we have 70.9%. And for value this week, we have 70.8%. And maybe from Kak Bella or Kak Lilis would like to say something about the value. Is Kak Bella or Kak Lilis attending?
Is taking a day off. So I will.
Okay. Thank you, Kak Bella.
Actually, for the value itself, we're trying to evaluate based on the performance as well. So it's decreased because we are trying to get the price higher back. Previously, we slowing it down, right? So it might be impactful to the value rating as well.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Kak Bella, for the brief explanation. We are trying to maximize the occupancy first instead of reaching the high price. Am I right, Kak Bella? Was it that?
When we higher the price, actually, most of the ratings going down, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
We can lowering the price. If we lower the price, the value rating
Yes.
goes up.
Okay. So we're facing a high season here, so we are gradually adding price in our listings, and it might affect the value this week. Okay, thank you, Kak Bella, for the explanation. And next, we have overall quality. For last week, we have 70.0%. For overall rating, 4.558 out of 5. And for this week, we have 70.0%. For the overall rating, 4.58%, which stays the same. And I think it's a good job for everyone who has maintained the score, even though we have a slight decrease in several points, but I think it's going to be our focus for the next week. And that's all from me. I'm sorry. This week case, we have several cases for this week that we have bad reviews that has been handled by PR team and PMGS team about the guest reviews and actions towards them. We have Puri Kelapa, Bingin Sun and Moon, Double A guest, Pondok Nini guest. And next we have Koko Frida Village, Villa Omah Kangen, Warisan Homestay, and Bingin Ombak. And for the Villa Omah Kangen, yeah, it seems like really bad. So I would like to give a brief explanation about the case. I think it's also about miscommunication from the guest and us handling the guest request about additional person, where this guest actually bring 19 guests for a villa that can only take up to 9 people. And so the resolutions for that case, we have decided to make the occupancy for 6% maximum, and if they are about to add more guests, there are maximum number for it, which is not 3%. The price will automatically move, automatically added based on how many guests, and it also includes the extra bed already. And I think it's important for us to aware that this kind of case might not be a usual case, but it will be a really important for us to pay attention to this kind of case. So when the guests are having more people, we know how much to ask for the guests to pay more. And that's it from me today. I will give this back to Kak Tara.
Oh,
Thank
let
you.
me jump in real quick.
Okay.
Actually, I want to give Irene some compliments for taking over the Airbnb Insights. I see a lot of new innovations into it and also accountability. So if you can mic on and share some love to Irene, I think she'd probably appreciate that. Yeah. So that's the good part. Okay. So that's the good news. Irene, we will not pass phone numbers to the partners. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's not a good idea. So that part, let's not do. Passing phone numbers to partners then creates all kinds of communication issues. Okay. But otherwise, I think this is done pretty well. Yeah, I'll have some private feedback for you later. But yeah, I see that we're making progress towards innovation. Back to Tara.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Mhm.
everyone.
Okay, thank you, Irene, for the extensive explanation from the Airbnb side. Okay, let's move on to the next section, which is our weekly mission inspiration. Can everyone see my share screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, the first one, I'm calling Wismo, Johannes Wismo.
Yeah, last week we ensured the first booking on Amarta Pertangi for clear and smoothing. CMPM and complete all damage quickly one day before first check-in. So last week, CM and PM on Amarta Pertangi helped Bu Julie build the trust again with us.
Okay. Next one, Katendi. Would you please explain?
Okay, thank you, Tara.
Yes.
Last week, PM team installed self-check-in kits for the property sign at Villa Arindra. We met also Pak Indra in their cafe, and then he also cognized us for the self check-in by installing the key box all each room, because before the partner already put the key in the between the sofa, so it's not easier to find it. So but now it's I hope it will be easier for the check-in. Thank you.
Okay. Next one. Thank you, Katendi. Next one. It will be from me. We are getting a new feature in investasi property, which is investasi property is a media that specialize in property, just as the name. So we are featured in another media. This time, Bukit Vista is featured in investasi property, as I said before. This another media. This is another media milestone for us. So hopefully, we could be featured in more in the future. So if I could show you, has anyone seeing a familiar picture from? Wait. I'm sorry. Wait. Okay. Anyone seeing familiar picture here? I think this is from Bingin Ombak. And also, if anyone seeing here is our very familiar name that is being mentioned, our lovely CEO, Mr. Jing Cho Yang. Okay, let's move on to Wismo again.
Yeah, last week, Bukit JS self-training with vendor and staff from the Amazon. We educate staff about how to clean the bedroom. We respond to complaint, and yeah, the Amazon owner trusts with us for make it better Amazon Villa. First step is done for the staff training, and the second step is we help them for buying some linen pillowcase and cleaning based on our recommendation, and we will perhaps we will deduct from the revenue from the Amazon.
Okay, thank you, Wismo, for your another explanation. Let's move on to Bukit Vista's mission. First one is from Furkan.
Okay, Tara, thank you very much. Before I proceed with the stories or explanation, I would like to give feedback while I'm saying this. If you give the floor to the what is it the name here to tell the story, and they provide the attachment on this what is it this site this table, you can like click the attachment, click the photos there,
Oh,
and
okay.
to give the better picture for everyone to what is it to see, yeah, to see what they mean or what they telling. Okay, so
Okay.
that's my direct feedback to you. And the story is
Okay,
now
thank you.
we are accepted as MBKM partner batch 5. So yeah, I believe it is not what is it uncanny for Bukit Vista team to hear about this, but there is a slight different system in between this MBKM and the previous MBKMs. The first one is the recruitment process. So basically, there is a set a specific timeline. So if you can move into the another picture. Yep. Now, this is a specific timeline that you can see that we can only proceed to candidate by 10th of July. So be ready, leaders. We will having so many applicants coming next month. So prepare yourself for the interview, screening candidates, trials, everything. Next, Tara, can you show me the next picture? Okay, so currently, as we are going, we already have 314 registrants to Bukit Vista MBKM. It is actually quite a lot, but we, as I told you, that we have a certain timeline for recruitment process or selection process. We could not download the database yet. So what we can do now is basically promoting that we have the MBKM. And yeah, later on 10th of July, we can download the data and start our recruitment process by then. Thank you very much, Tara, for the floor. Back to you.
Okay, next one is from Kak Shelin.
Okay, thank you, Tara. So from my side, this is actually originated from Mr. Ging's idea of using AI to rewrite our existing job description. And it actually puts the essence of like what we need basically for each one of the roles. So far, some of the roles have been updated, such as like data scientist, business analyst, and so on. So we'll do this like gradually, and yeah, by the end of the month, we should be like having all of them updated. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Shelin. Uh, okay, for the next one is from Kafidi.
Right. So for bigger 1.83 and 1.83.1, there's a new feature for phone number reveal. Funny thing that Mr. Jin just mentioned that we do not reveal phone numbers to partners, but after discussion with operations, the policy on what to reveal will be going to the hosting team. While by default, this should be unrevealed and only revealed to full board properties. That's the default behavior. And insert links on revenue projection. Single images are not enough to inspire prospective partner. Now we allow inserting links on revenue projection instead of static images. For booking calendar UI UX improvements, we show dark background for walk-in, maintenance, and personal blocks for distinguishments, and check-in and check-out icon to be according to their check-in check-out date. Raising pane of the calendar dates despite scrolling, overbooking visualization improvement, and some other back fixes that can be seen there. So that's from the new version of the year.
Okay, thank you, Kak Vidi. Next one from Kak Felix.
Yep.
So it's about Booking.com partial units cancellation. It causes the overall booking to be seen as cancelled on Bigger. So if you don't know, on Booking.com we can book n number of units. The n number can be arbitrary. Yeah. So before on Bigger, the booking ID is cancelled directly, even though the other units should still be confirmed. So if one person books like 5 units and he only cancels one from those 5, Bigger should reflect 4 units confirmed. So this wasn't the case before. The booking ID is cancelled directly. It caused overbooking because partners saw Bivigo calendar being empty and they block it. So yeah, after the fix on Bigger, only the cancelled units will be cancelled and the booking is still confirmed with the number of confirmed units as well. Some cases to take note is that the booking value may be wrong or may be right. We are still monitoring this. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Felix. Let's move on to our company team, target and achievement. I think
it
yes,
will be
go on.
presented by Kala. If you see the upper side of the page, you will see
Okay.
Kaila's name on there. So you need to call Kaila.
Yeah. Okay. Kak Kayla, may present the company team target and achievement.
Okay, thank you for Panantara. All right, we're running late a bit for today, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, apologize for not being able to turn on my camera. Second one, this is regarding the weekly inspections based on still our multi-team, which is anticipatory agility. In here, I would like to emphasize the point that we could actually anticipate several things and we need to maintain some of the operations that we have been trying to keep the performance. So basically, we have 2 threats and 1 opportunity. So for the first threat, there was lack of coordinations within the partnership team, BD, CM, PM, and content regarding the onboarding process for several properties. I would like to mention Peninda Memories and Amarta Pertangin here, leading to negative sentiment from partners and confusion among the internal teams. For this one, I'd like to take the responsibility to improve the supervisions of the onboarding process and hold the respective team accountable based on the agreed upon expectations. This is related to Panas Squad for Mas Gani, Mr. Ching as the leader of PD, and myself as well. For the second threat, we have experienced significant offboarding, reduced allocations, and prolonged maintenance cases in the past few weeks, resulting in lost revenue opportunities. Actionable for this one is to prioritize the company interests. The responsible team needs to strictly adhere to the written contract. So, offboarding should follow a 60-day accommodation period for confirmed bookings. Reducing allocation essentially to ensure confirmed guests are accommodated without overbooking. This is for Kembang Kuning case. And the long maintenance case should be managed strategically as most partners may not be aware of the appropriate actions to take. This is to all Scott, but several teams that's directly involved, which is Johannes, Aaron, Kateni, Marcel, and Kalilis. Let's work better on this one. For the opportunity, the adoption of Gaia should enhance team efficiency and streamline practices. However, in recent weeks, we have not achieved the desired output, highlighting the need for stronger and more strategic coordination within the ops team. So the ops team hypervisor, I believe right now is Marcel, will oversee the adoptions and direction of Gaia, collaborating with the chief manager to increase the adoption rates and consider strategic cases. All right, that's it for the weekly inspections. Given that operations is the primary foundations that demands our attention, so let's just ensure the stimulus operations from the initial property onboarding to their offboarding significantly that contributes to revenue and overall performances. For those who have been mentioned, kindly give a thumbs up for agreeing or write down your comments if there's anything else you'd like to add. Okay, moving on to the targets and goals that we have achieved so far. As a reminder, our main target can be seen below, which is the 408,000 US dollar for OK target, 440,000 US dollar for awesome target, 70% 5-star rating, and 4.5 overall rating. This week, again, unfortunately, according to the target that we have set weekly for June, we need to announce that we have not successfully exceed the average daily fill rate yet again, which is at 8,000 US dollar for minimum target and 9,300 US dollar for stretch target. To be exact, we are at 5,211 US dollar. This is actually for later on messaging Bill and revenue managers, Bella and Kalilis, to maybe have a sub discussion regarding the strategic direction that we are aiming here. For the achievements, we have achieved a total of 311,000 US dollar accumulated revenue on June. So it's about 85.34% achieved for the minimum target. We still have like 59,800 US dollars basically to achieve the minimum target itself. If we want to achieve it, we need to collect on the average 5,440 US dollar at least per day on the last 11 days. All right, that's all from me. The rest have been announced previously by Irene and Mr. Jing. So thank you, Cinta and Kalilis, for helping me conduct the report, and have a good spirit for this week, everyone. Thank you. Back to you,
Okay,
Tara.
thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Kakila, for the extensive explanation. Let's move on. Since we have 2 minutes left, let's go a little bit more quickly. For the call value recognition, please, for the presenter, keep it more simple, yeah. Let's go for the first one, Hafiz.
This is
Uh,
from me to
yeah.
Hafiz. So Cloud Hills glamping pin location is just back 30 minutes after announced on all hands as a threat. So thank you Hafiz for lightning fast action. Yep.
Okay, thank you. For the next one, let's go to Mr. Jing.
Okay, I'd like to recognize first for Khan. This is actually the same that what Gani just recognized. Within the all hands, the problem is fixed. So I don't know if anyone saw that. If you could click on it, there was a spelling mistake on our inspirational speaker for the word commit, and
No.
it was fixed.
Yes.
Then by Furqan. Okay, and then the next one, I'd like to actually recognize Irene and Kyla for inspiring delight. This new innovation with the Airbnb Insight dashboard, I think, is a good step. Of course, there's going to be some early mistakes, but I think it takes a hero to try something new. And this is a new direction I approve. Great. Oh, and the third one is Gani and his team. If we can click on Gani thing. All right, so the two images I want to share are image number one, the Airbnb number of opportunities. As you can see, we are taking care of much more opportunities than similar listings or the average market. That part is good. And the next graphic is the progression of check-ins over time. You can click on the next photo next to it. That is also progressing over time. It's 80% since a year ago. Okay, so that is good. Back over to Tara.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing. Let's go next to Kakela again. Oh, it's from Irene. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you for Kak Kayla. Help others to help themselves and be the hero. She was managing all property management issues by herself half day yesterday, and she still managed to do on-site inspection in Unggasan, and it's really cool of her to do that. Thank you, Kak Tara.
Okay. Next one. Thank you, Irene. Next one to Wismo.
Thank you for Tandy, Ketut, Irene, and Kayla. We quickly respond to failure by moving quickly and think about the chance in the long term.
Okay, thank you. Wismo, let's go to Kak Kayla. Last one.
Okay, this is to Katendi. So Katendi simplified the be the hero core value by effectively managing on-site situation at Tortoise. I kind of forgot if someone mentioned this or not. So this is last week, and I think much more before that. So despite being off duty, he took the initiative to assist the guests when there was no partner available, and he collaborated with Rananga to handle over 10 pieces of luggage and provided hospitality guidance for the area. I believe the guest has like early checkout, but for hospitality, it's really good. Thank you, Katendi.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Since we already passed 2 minutes, can we add more 3 minutes for the personal updates?
I think it's better to jump into the announcement directly, and personal updates we can do it asynchronously.
Okay, let's go to announcements, everyone. The announcements is from Kak Shelin. Please take the floor, Kak Shelin.
Okay, thank you. So I'm actually announcing this on behalf of Ola. In this case, because she is actually offline today. So after several like discussions and considerations, right, from Ola as well as the wellness team from Ghani's side, so it has been decided that Ola will basically have her last day by the end of this month on 30th of June 2023, and yeah, basically that's the main announcement in this case. So not actually a happy and kind of announcement, but I do hope that everyone here in the company can also respect her decision as well as keep on supporting her like by the end of her employment here in the company. Yeah. That will be all. Thank you. Back to Tara.
Okay, thank you, Kak Shelin, for the very sad announcement. Okay, since it's already past 3 minutes, let's conclude the all hands.
Okay.
Uh,
So because we already finished all the run through in this all hands, thank you very much everyone for coming to the all hands and have a great week ahead. Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Nice week.
Semangat.
Oh, Mahesi left the meeting already. Mahesi Antara, we need to get the feedback session after this, so please keep in this.
Um,